I looked at the clock on my bedroom wall. I think I have delayed the inevitable for as long as I physically can. I should go to the pack house to go and wish our pack's upcoming alpha a happy birthday. The bane of my life. My brother's best friend. One day to be Alpha Miles. Today he will turn 17 and meet his alpha wolf. In all honesty, he was egotistical enough, thinking the world revolved around him without him adding to that by finally gaining his wolf. Not your run-of-the-mill werewolf either. Oh no. Miles Davenport was destined to be an alpha, so he would have a strong and powerful alpha wolf, only adding to his arrogance and strength. The crazy thing is, Miles had once upon a time been one of my closet friends too. In my younger childhood, friends, that kind of thing comes when your father is the beta to the alpha. The children spend a lot of time together and become friends. My older brother Jordan became the wingman to Miles. His closest friend and ally, who as his beta when the time came, was only right. But as the years went on, the friendship between Miles and I changed. Friendship faded as he grew into a more popular sports star of our school. At the end of the day, he was always going to be popular. He was the upcoming alpha after all. But as one of the top sports stars too, he was idolized, as was my brother. All the girls in school flocked around them like they were pop stars or something, and it was bizarre. I was nothing more to him now but a source of amusement for him and his sports buddies. A geek, not one of the beauty queens who followed him around. Simply someone to make fun of. I had gone from enjoying time with my one-day alpha to hating him in the space of a school year. He thought he was God's gift, and in all honesty, if he was, he is a gift I would return. Bailey, I heard my mom call from downstairs, telling me I was definitely running it close now for time. I know Jordan had already headed over to the pack house a while ago with my dad to meet his friend and our alpha. I know, I yell back, looking at the books on my desk, desperate to continue with the assignment I was working on. I would so much rather continue working on the assignment and gain the additional credit available. Work toward going to the college I want to go to instead of going to a party for the big-headed bully. I got to consider almost family, considering he was the son of my dad's best friend. I stood from my seat and walked to my mirror, adjusting my black skater dress I had chosen to wear today. Something plain and simple, easy to blend into the background. But a dress all the same if anyone asked why I hadn't made an effort. Along with my chunky black sandals, I looked presentable, not that anyone would be looking at me. Today, all eyes would be on the birthday boy, as they always were. He would make sure of that. I flicked back my curly brown hair before I walked out of the door, already dreading the hours that lay ahead. My mum pulled the car into the parking spaces outside the pack house, while my younger sister Morgan was flicking at the curls around my head, simply trying to irritate me. She knew I would rather be anywhere but here right now, and was loving every last moment of it. "Aw, you want to go home, Bailey Boo?" she teased. "Stop, you two. Come on, your dad is waiting inside. Let us go and find the birthday boy," Mum says, sounding cheerful, completely oblivious to the fact how horrendous this party had the potential to be. She, too, worshipped Miles. Having seen him grow up alongside my brother, she seemed to think the sun shone out of his rear end. It had always driven me insane. "He won't even notice us there," I muttered under my breath as I followed her up the steps of the back house, shaking my head at my sister and how overdressed she looked. She definitely looked like she was out to impress someone today. A small part of me wondered if she hoped she might be the fated mate of Miles. After all, he was meeting his alpha wolf today. He will have shifted for the first time today, and today could potentially be the day he can sense his fated mate out there waiting for him. There had been so much buzz around school about this. So many of the girls were excited about the potential possibility they could be his fated mate. The one chosen for him by the moon goddess. The one destined to be with him. So many of them are desperate for it to be them. While there, I was desperate for anything but. I could think of nothing worse. Yet, looking at the amount of effort my younger sister had made today, I am beginning to think she was one of the many she-wolves that was holding out that hope. We walked through the corridors of the pack house, and it was filled with various pack members. Today was a day of celebration within pack, the birthday of the upcoming alpha. And not just any birthday, the day he came of age. The day he met his alpha wolf. The walls of the pack house were adorned with decorations. Music was blaring from various speakers dotted around the multiple rooms. Sorry. A giggling she-wolf said to me as she nearly knocked me off my feet as she knocked into me. I would rather be anywhere but here right now. This was far too hectic and far too loud for me. I simply glare at the back of the girl as she moves away from me. Not a care in the world. I followed my mom and my sister, who was almost skipping as she walked, toward the main lounge area. I can only assume my mom had mind-linked my dad to let him know we had arrived, and he said they were there, or else we could spend all day looking around for them. It appeared almost every member of the pack had turned up to celebrate the birthday of Miles fucking Davenport. The lounge area was laden with people, music truly blasting, and everyone seeming to have a good time. Everyone but me. I caught the eye of my brother, leaning against the wall of the lounge, the furthest away from the door we had just walked into. He nodded in my direction before simply turning away. Could have made an effort, Bailey. He mind-linked. It is a birthday, not a funeral, you know. I felt my heart sink at his words. Great. The insults were starting already, which meant it would only be a matter of time until Miles started too. The two of them seemed to like working together like that, finding great enjoyment in harassing me. I was only a year younger than both of them, and had desperately hoped the name-calling and insulting would ease off as they got a little older. But if anything, they seemed to get worse. All because I wasn't like the girls they were interested in, I was sure of it. I wasn't like the other girls. Made myself an easy target, my mom told me, all because I enjoyed studying. Liked reading and learning. Said, I only made it harder for myself. The plan was to make it easier for myself by finding a way out. Jordan says, your dress looks like you are going to a funeral, Bailey. Morgan teased, fluffing up my curls again. My long brown hair fell in thick, unruly curls down my back. They drove me mad at times, especially when my brother and sister decide to mess with them. Oh well, I wore a dress like you asked. I snapped, moving away from them, feeling angry already, so tempted just to turn around and walk home, only to be pulled back by my mum. We are going to wish Miles a happy birthday. You will stay for a while at least. I do not need to be explaining to your aunt and uncle yet again why you have walked out on a social event, Bailey. Mum warned me, her tone sounding grumpy. I swear she had to have read my thoughts on leaving the party already. I'm sure she hated having me as a daughter, likely wishing for one that was more sociable, and one that enjoyed being a part of everything, instead of one that would rather have her head in a book. Oh, happy birthday, Miles, I heard my sister squeal from by my side. I swear she spoke at a pitch so high only dogs could hear. Goddess knows why she is so excited. It is only his birthday. He likely doesn't even care. He never normally does. As I looked up, his blue eyes were locked on me. I raised my gaze to meet his, and could see his eyes shift to a darker blue. Was that his wolf? I see a snarl across his face as he suddenly storms from the room. What the hell was that about? Get out here. Miles is suddenly mind-linking me, and I have to say he sounded far from impressed. That, combined with the angry expression on his face, told me something was off. Would he have rather I had not come? Well, he was not the only one. What? I questioned, completely confused. Was he annoyed over how I had dressed too? Geez, it was just a dress. Does it really matter? I would go home if it was outside now. He demanded once more, sounding even more irritated this time, making me realize I had little choice but to follow his orders. So I snuck away from the ongoing party back to the doors of the pack house, only to find Miles pacing along the bottom of the steps, looking a mixture of confused and angry. So why did he need me here? Someone to take his anger out on? I was not willing to be that. I was sure about that just as I was about to walk away. He looked up. "Fucking took you long enough," he snapped. I frowned, unsure what this was all about, but it was making no sense to me as I looked down toward him from where I stood at the top of the pack house steps. His blue eyes shifted to the dark blue once more, like they had inside, taking me by surprise. His wolf is clearly lingering. "What is wrong, Miles? Do you want me to get Jordan?" I asked. "No, I do not. I do not want anyone knowing this," he snarls, a growl slipping from his lips. Though whether that was aimed at me or whether his wolf was angry at him, I do not know. "I don't think I understand," I began. "You soon will," he sneers, and I simply look to him in confusion. Nothing he says makes sense to me. Until he continues. Only today did I realize. The thought makes me sick. Why our own moon goddess would play a trick like this on me, I don't know. I am an alpha. A fucking alpha. I deserve a strong mate. A beautiful mate to be proud of. Not some feeble, pathetic wallflower. My body trembles at his words. No. I had yet to gain my wolf. I did not know this yet. Why? Why him of all people? "I am your fated mate?" I question with a shaky voice. "Are you sure? Are you fucking doubting me?" he yells. "And you won't be. The moment you have your wolf, I will decide when the time is right to reject you." My heart twists and contorts at the thought. Rejection was meant to be the most painful thing possible. Why would he want to reject the mate chosen for him by our own moon goddess? Am I truly so repulsive? A year later, yet another birthday party for our beloved upcoming alpha. Not my beloved upcoming alpha. I hated the fucker, breaking my heart without a second thought. What I had done to deserve that I had never got a proper explanation from him. Other than the frequent insults of why would he want to be with someone like me? Did I look like Luna material to him? I had no clue. What the hell did Luna material look like in his eyes? Some blonde bimbo, no doubt. They were the she-wolves he tended to spend his time with within our pack. The ones who worshipped the ground he walked on. That would do anything he asked of them. Ones that I highly doubted read much more than the work set of them at school. "Bailey!" My mom yelled at me from the stairway of our family home. "Will you hurry up? Do I really need to come to the party?" I responded. "I'm telling you, Miles will not be bothered if I am not there. Your aunt and uncle will be, though. And I am not explaining to them again why you are missing." My mom continues yelling. "Do you not realize just how many events you have missed this year? All because you have your head in a book?" "Yeah, bye. Such a geek. No wonder you have no friends." My sister Morgan giggles from outside my bedroom door. "Piss off," I hissed. "I have friends." I stormed from my room and down the stairs toward my waiting family. I planned to greet the birthday boy, not that he would care in the slightest. I know that he would rather not see me at all. And then I would sneak home. Are you wearing that?" Morgan asked. I looked down at the skinny black trousers I had on and the white tank top. Great. I can't win. Nothing I wear is approved of by my sister, evidently named the fashion queen without my knowledge. Oh well, I am dressed and wearing it. I think it looked good with my chunky black sandals I had on. I scowled at my sister and walked out of the door. "Are we going or not?" I snapped at them all, truly not able to wait for the following month when I leave to go to university. Get away from them, and this pack. The party was well underway when we arrived, music pounding from the speakers as couples made out in every available space. So I averted my eyes as we walked through the corridors of the pack house to the lounge where we would no doubt find Miles reigning over his people. Being all important, like he was partial to considering himself. "Why are you here?" Miles's voice filled my mind link, before I had even fully entered the room behind my parents. "Great. I didn't get a choice." "Trust me, I would rather not be," I snapped back. I was getting more than a little tired of the way he would treat me. Yes, he planned on rejecting me. Decided I was not for him, but he could have left it at that. I didn't need treating like I was some sort of social pariah because of the fact he decided I was not right for him. I do not think I deserved that. I had endured enough bullying through my time in high school, for the fact I enjoyed my education. "Oh, excuse me? Are you implying you were not going to come to the party of your next alpha?" Miles links with some serious attitude. "Miles, you just asked why I had bothered coming. Now you are asking if I was not going to come? Make your mind up." I argued. "Remember who I am, Bailey. You are not above me. Never will be. Could have been equal to me at most had I seen you as suitable to be my mate. But no. You were beneath that honor." He sneers. I felt anger racing through me. "And you think I would not have rejected you?" I snapped, moving back toward the exit, not wanting to be here anymore. Until I felt a hand grabbing the back of my tank top, yanking me back. My eyes darted upward to see the dark eyes of Miles, sneering down at me. Our pack's upcoming alpha. The most arrogant man I think I have ever met. One, thankfully, I did not have to be mates with any longer, as this stupid fucker had chosen to reject his own fated mate before even giving her a chance. "Going somewhere, Bailey?" he asked, his voice full of spite. "Well, I do believe you asked me why I was here, so I assumed you wanted me to leave," I told him. Miles bows his head down so it is level with mine. He inhales deeply, like he still enjoys the scent of me. He has done this numerous times of late, which I find quite bizarre. But I ignore him as he tilts his head to look at me. "I think my mum and dad may have something to say if you leave. They're clever little Bailey." "Heaven forbid." He presses his forehead against mine. "Just stay away from me, and do not spoil my fun." I shake my head in disbelief at him, as he stalks away. Did he even think for a moment I would be going near him if I could avoid it? I would rather be anywhere but near him. "Bailey, why are you harassing my friend for?" I heard my brother, Jordan, demand, as he suddenly approached, causing many people to turn around and look at me. Wonderful. I am sure Miles would appreciate that. I wasn't harassing him. He came to speak to me, asking why I had come. I told him, and my brother laughed. He is as much an idiot as Miles. Any of my friends who have big brothers hate how protective they are. Me? No, my big brother is the one leading all the bullying and being a total dick to me. He finds great embarrassment in the fact his younger sister is far from being one of the popular group, and is, in his words, far too into her books, I think. In all honesty, my entire family found me, in one way or another, a huge embarrassment. Well, he has a point. Not like you will be joining in with the celebrations. You will probably be sitting in a quiet corner somewhere reading. He teases. Well, it is certainly more intellectually pleasing than any of you would be. I smirked at him as I walked away from my brother, who was standing looking confused. I'm sure he had no clue what I meant. The scary thing is, he will be the next, Pack Beta. Heaven help our pack. Between him and Miles, they only had one brain cell between them, and that was one that they shared. I'm sure of it. And even then, I think it was rechargeable and started losing power and knowledge at a rapid rate. They only graduated high school because they paid people to do their work for them. As I snuck away out of the busy lounge to the top of the stairway, where I hoped to hide out for as long as possible, I heard footsteps behind me. I quickly turned, hoping it was simply someone on their way to their bedroom, or even to one of the spare bathrooms on this floor. But, sadly, luck was not on my side tonight. No, Miles was following me, eyebrows raised and looking quite irritated. I want to talk to you," he demanded. "You asked me to go away a minute ago, didn't you?" I asked him. "Don't think so. Think it was more a case of why you were here," Miles says with a smirk, sitting on the top step with me. "Miles, you have the whole pack here for your birthday. I am sure whatever you need to speak to me about can wait." I shrugged, desperately craving peace, which, considering the pounding beat of the music playing, would be difficult. "No. Why didn't you tell me you were leaving?" he questions, like he is irate at the fact I had not let him know. Why would I let him know? Why would I? We aren't friends, Miles. You also are not my alpha yet. It was arranged with my parents, me and your dad, as alpha. I explained to him, unsure why this would even bother him. If anything, I would think he would be glad to get rid of me. "You are going away, though," he murmurs. "That is generally what happens when you go to college or university." "Yeah," I said with another shrug. "There wasn't one closer to home?" He hisses. "Because it seems to me you picked the one furthest away." "What does it matter to you?" "You hate me." "I won't be here. You get your wish of being rid of me," I snapped, truly sick of him trying to dictate to me what I should and shouldn't be doing. I had worked hard in school, so I could do this. My parents had spoken to my aunt and uncle, the Luna and Alpha of our pack, to allow me special permission to go to a university out of state to study, saying it was what I had dreamed of. I had nothing holding me back, and, with the fact Miles did not want me for his mate, or his Luna, I truly did not. Not that any of them knew of that. That was our own secret. Even despite the pull to him as my mate since my wolf had arrived, I still found him truly repulsive. He sickened me. Though, the pains when he slept with the many she-wolves that visited his bed made it even easier to detest the man that he had become. I still had no clue what I had done to deserve this treatment from this man, other than not being one of the popular group. But I knew I deserved better than him. Miles glanced at me. Momentarily a thoughtful look passed over his face, almost caring, before a hardness replaced it. That much is true. No more having to see the disappointing failure the moon goddess made of mating me to you. At least, not for a few years. Who knows, perhaps you will meet someone while there. I suggest you do. That way you won't have to come back, because I, as Alpha, will be looking for my Luna. Miles, I honestly do not care if you find someone else, I told him, going to stand and head home, not wishing to spend another moment in the same place as him. As I went to move away, he grabbed my hand, pulling me to him, so I was once more sitting level with him on the top step of the first-floor landing of our pack house. Always so righteous, aren't you, Bailey? You say you don't care? We will see. Well, this will be on my terms. I, Miles Davenport, reject you, Bailey West, as my fated mate, he began, and my head began to whirl as his words sunk in. The realization and excruciating pain of what was happening becoming too much for me. 3 years later, I drove the long road down to Pack. I hated this drive. It was like returning to hell for me. Lotus Shadowpack. My very own version of hell. Though, 3 years away, studying had been truly amazing. Transforming myself into the woman I should always have been. Confident. Self-assured, brave. Just me. And now a fully qualified teacher. As a she-wolf, you spend so many years of your life being told your focus is finding your fated mate, settling down with them and creating a strong mate bond. a love, a family. Well, once I had come to accept that my Na'vi teenage dreams would never surface. Thanks to the moon goddess pairing me with a mate so incapable of loving anyone other than himself, I decided that my focus would be my career. My education had always been something I took great pride in. I loved to learn, and I had decided that I wanted to pass that gift along. I no longer cared what others thought of me. And, while at university, it felt so wonderful to be surrounded by others who felt the same way. I finally felt like I fit in somewhere. And I believe that is what allowed me to become the person I was meant to be. However, now I had to return to my pack at their orders. The agreement was, once I had completed my degree, I would return home. Unless, of course, I had found my fated mate. But I knew within my heart that was never to happen. For my fated mate sat at home, lording it over our pack, acting like he was the best thing since sliced bread, sleeping with any she-wolf that came near him. From what I heard, having rejected me. I pulled up at our guarded pack gates. Harley, one of our pack warriors, currently on guard duty, stepped forward to my car window. "ID," he ordered. I frowned at him. I do not think I have been asked for ID before when returning home, even in all the times I have visited home. Though in all fairness, those visits have been few and far between. My visits were only when they were required of me. I had grown to loathe this place, and coming back had become less of a priority for me over the time I was away. "Harley, it is me. Bailey," I explained, trying not to smile at his mistake. Harley looked at me closer. "Shit. Sorry, Bailey, didn't really recognize you there. You changed your hair, and you aren't wearing your glasses. You look good," he says with a shrug, quickly looking away, clearly embarrassed by his faux pas. I smirk at his response. Yes, my hair is somewhat tamer than it used to be. The curls straightened out, and my hair now neat and sleek down my back. My glasses I had worn for reading had been long gone, having got my eyes fixed with laser eye surgery whilst away. Plus, I now wore a little simple makeup to accentuate my features. Nice to know somebody has noticed a difference? No problem. You still need ID? I asked him. He grins at me. I think I know who you are. Nice to see you. He nods at me in acknowledgement as the gate opens for me. Maybe catch you around while you are back, he adds as I begin to drive away. I smiled in response. I guess there would be nothing to stop me catching up with any guy I wanted to now. Not that I was really bothered right now, but it was not like I had a fated mate to wait for any longer. And it wasn't like Miles was making a point of staying single. Every time I had returned home, he had had a different she-wolf on his arm, parading them through pack like a prized possession, only to have traded her in by the time I returned on my next visit. He was turning into quite the Lothario, and quite a joke in my eyes. I set off along the quiet, familiar roads of our sweet old pack. The evening sun was settling in the sky as I moved my car down the route to my family home. No doubt my mum would be there waiting for me, perhaps my dad if he was in from work by now. My brother and sister, I was unsure. They still both lived at home with my parents, but were back and forth to friends' homes, and my brother was looking to move into the beta suite in the pack house soon enough, in preparation for taking on the role from my father when the time came. Either way, they rarely bothered to rush home to see me when they knew I was returning. I don't think seeing me was at the top of their priority list. I pulled my car up on the street in front of my familiar family home. I could not believe I was home. Stuck back here, the dread within my stomach churned heavily at the prospect of many years stuck here. Miserable and unhappy, with no way out, now my fated mate had rejected me. Not that anyone other than Miles and I knew of that. No. He had decided he would be considered weak if others knew an alpha had gone against the powerful moon goddess's choice. So, this was our secret. Or he would make me pay in ways I did not want to imagine, apparently. And, in all honesty, I did not want to think of it. He had allowed me to go away to do my degree. Doing the final bit of convincing when my uncle, the current alpha, and Miles's father, along with my parents, were on the fence. Or so he said. How true that was, I would never likely know the truth. But it had been for that reason, and that alone, I had chosen to do as he had asked. If he had done the things he said, then he had allowed me to fulfill my dream of gaining my degree of teaching away from Pack. To allow me to be just me, not the daughter of the Pack Beta, and I have thrived because of it. But now I had to return, back to where I belonged. And, while I may have gained my degree, I had no real future prospects. I was likely stuck here. I stepped from the car, determined more than ever to find work, as I heard my mom's voice. Bailey. She greeted me from the porch steps, a big smile upon her face. You look beautiful, sweetheart. I smiled back at her as I moved toward the front door, only to see Miles leaving the house next door to ours. The Alpha home. Could I have timed my arrival home any worse? His eyes met mine, giving me a dark stare before looking at my mum. Hi, Aunt Brianna. You didn't say she was home today. Mum smiled at Miles like she thought the world of him, though most of the time she generally did. I think it slipped my mind. Bailey is home for good now. Miles. How wonderful is that? Once more, Miles gave me a dark stare. Truly wonderful, he said with some serious contempt in his voice. You stay out of my way unless I say otherwise. You understand? Miles mind-links me as he moves toward his car. Are you not going to speak to him, bye? Mum tries. He will be Alpha this time next year, you know? Oh, it doesn't matter, Aunt Brianna. Bailey will be excused this time. I am sure she is tired from her drive back home. But no doubt I will be seeing her around. And yes, she will have to get used to me as her senior. Her Alpha, he says with a sneer, and at his words my stomach twists into knots. I don't think I can stay here. I not only need to find work, I need to find work away from my pack, so I can move away to get away from my psychotic Alpha and X-Mant. I sit out in the garden drinking my morning coffee, with my laptop open, scrolling desperately through the job vacancies, when I hear a deep growl to my left, causing me to swirl my head to look. Miles was resting his head on the garden fence from next door, overlooking our back garden, to where I was sitting. Watching me intently, the look upon his face was one of sheer disgust. I had no clue how long he had been standing there, or what had angered him to the point of growling. But he had made me jump. Fucking hell, Miles, I snapped, giving him a dark scowl. I had done well the past week since arriving and stayed out of his way, managing to ensure I avoided all pack events and ensuring I dodged any places he was likely to be. Yes, it meant I spent an awful lot of time in my bedroom at home, but I would rather do that than have to deal with him. Today, the sun was glorious, and I thought it would be nice to take my breakfast outside while I looked for jobs online. Sitting on the patio furniture we have in the back garden, under the warmth of the morning sunshine, my coffee was enjoyable, all until this stupid fucker disturbed me. I shook my head in his direction, wondering why he had snuck up on me. He had so many more places he could be. Who do you think you are cursing at? Miles snarled. The creep who did exactly that. Crept up on me out of the blue for no good reason. I rolled my eyes at him in disgust, only to see this seemed to anger him further. Though I think anything I did would anger Miles. He seemed to hold some serious resentment towards me at the moment. But should I really expect anything less? I will come over there and deal with you, Bailey, he hissed. Deal with me? I questioned his choice of words. Deal with me how? You asked me to stay out of your way. That is what I am doing. What are you doing? He chose to ignore my words and looks to my laptop screen instead, so I slowly shut the screen down, so he would be unable to see. I do not want him knowing I'm applying for work outside the area. I would not put it past him to stop it from happening. He seems to be being deliberately nasty of late, so I truly do not know what he would sink to in order to be nasty towards me. Nothing of your concern. I am your alpha. So, all that goes on in my pack is my business, he tells me with a smirk. I shook my head with a smirk back. Not quite, Miles. You are not. Your dad is still alpha, so don't be getting ahead of yourself. An angry look flared across his face once more. His handsome features contorted in fury. He did not like having people disagree with him. But I was not about to have him dictating to me. Just because you were my mate once upon a time does not give you the right to talk to me however you please, you know. Miles snarls. She is your mate? A voice questions, causing us both to whip our heads around, only to see the unexpected face of Miles's younger brother Ellis. I look at Miles with despair now, my heart pounding within my chest, and my palms becoming sweaty. Wondering what the hell he planned to do now. The secret we had kept between us for so long was out now. How had neither of us heard him coming? No, she is not. She rejected me, Miles said coldly, looking at me as if daring me to disagree with him. Wait, he was making it out like I had rejected him? I looked at Miles in shock, but the look within his eyes was like he dared me to argue. You rejected your alpha? What kind of fool are you? Ellis asked as his eyes looked me up and down like a piece of dirt. Sadly, a look I am more than used to. Do Mom and Dad know? Miles shakes his head. No, I don't want them to either. It would worry them too much. Else, please do not say anything. Bailey and I were never a good match, so perhaps she made the right choice. Please for me? Miles is pleading with his brother. And part of me wonders if he is worried what his family would do if they learned of his decision to go against the moon goddess. As an alpha, this was almost unheard of. Blaming me was gutless. But if that is what he wants to do, then let him. Do not even think of saying anything different. Miles's voice reverberates through my mind via the link. Or you will learn to regret it. That degree you love so much could easily be destroyed. I took in the words Miles had said, and the sad thing is, I do not doubt them. I would not put it past him finding a way to have my degree removed. Having me stuck within our pack. He would be alpha soon enough, and he would be the one able to dictate what I did. I had little choice but to do as he asked, yet I felt anger racing through my veins. I lifted my laptop and stood from my seat. I will talk to you however I like, Miles, when you seem to think you can treat me however you like. And with that, I walked away from the two brothers, both looking at me, walking away in shock. I know I would come to regret what I had just said, but I truly no longer cared. I paced the corridor of the pack house for yet another night. Sleepless nights are becoming the most repetitive thing for me now. Almost tiresome, or they would be if I could actually fucking sleep. Nightmares plaguing my dreams were the things stopping my sleep, making me fear sleep visions of that night, reoccurring time and time again. The rogues invading our pack, lands us losing control, and them hurting my precious Isla. My beautiful Isla. Fate had barely brought us together before snatching us apart. Life could be cruel, and it made me relive that night. Time and time again, through my dreams, the pain as her life ebbed away, the inability to be able to save her, the pain in her eyes, the fear it made me hate life, hate fate. And now it makes me fear sleep, which is what found me pacing these godforsaken corridors every night. All right, Beta. Mark, one of our young warriors, greeted me enthusiastically, telling me he had likely been out spending time with friends, especially returning to his room at this early hour of the morning. Hey, Mark. I smiled, raising my eyebrows questioningly at him as he stumbled toward the stairs. He was barely able to walk in a straight line. "I not been dinking, honest boss?" he mutters with a chuckle. These guys make me smile. How could they not? Barely past shifting age and newly trained warriors. They clearly decided to drink themselves to the point of stupor, which, considering we are werewolves and alcohol has little to no effect on us in small doses, they had to have been drinking excessive amounts. Likely coming up with new and different drinking challenges to see who could drink the most. That was what they so often did. But I can't say I had not done the same when I first shifted and on many a younger night with friends. It was all part of growing up for many, wasn't it? Especially for our warriors. I knew that, having helped many a drunken warrior home in the past. And I am sure they had had a good night and many good memories to look back on, if they could actually remember any of them. Of course. I never said a word, Mark. I gave him a nod as he fell up the stairs. I continued my pacing of the corridor, only to hear a few more drunken voices approaching. I assume likely Marx's drunk friends. And I, not in the right frame of mind to have to deal with anyone else tonight, ducked into the short corridor off the main hallway of the pack house, leading to my office. I could sit in here until they passed, and then make my way back to my room. And hopefully, I could attempt to gain at least a few hours sleep tonight, so I would be at least partially functionable tomorrow. "What are you doing down here?" A voice made me jump awake from my sleep, making me stir and realize just how uncomfortable I was. My whole body ached. The crick in my neck felt like it had been locked in a vice. Though, as I moved, it was only then I realized I had fallen asleep sitting at my office desk. I had been asleep collapsed over my office desk since the early hours of the morning, when I came in here to hide from the drunken warriors. I sleepily raised my eyes upward, only to see my best friend, and the pack alpha, standing next to my desk, looking more than a little concerned, looking down over me. "Asher?" he questioned. "Why are you sleeping down here?" This has to be the third or fourth time in a matter of weeks. And don't get me started on all the time prior to that. I sighed. Just what I need. Him on my case. The third degree once again. Am I okay? Do I need some help? Support? That is likely what Caleb was about to start with, like always. He couldn't help it, though I didn't want to sound ungrateful. He was my closest friend after all, and he did just care. But sometimes, some people just needed their space. It wasn't like he could help, he couldn't stop my suffering, this has been going on too long now. Was struggling to sleep, so I came down to work. I am guessing I must have crashed, I told him. Not quite the truth, but it would do. Caleb didn't need to know that my sleep was so badly disturbed that I struggled to sleep every night. That my nights were so messed up, I hadn't slept properly since Isla had left. "Is everything okay, Asher?" Caleb asked, and I could hear the concern dripping from his voice, like it so often does of late. "Aiden said she has been worrying about you, that you just haven't seemed yourself since the rogue attacks began. She said you seem so distant, so withdrawn." I shook my head with a disgusted roll of my eyes. So, they had been discussing me? Do they think that is acceptable? Yes, Aiden may be his mate, and the Luna of the pack, as well as my friend, but I do not need to be some sort of sympathy case that needs to be sat and discussed between them over their evening meal. I am fine. I am the pack beta, for fuck's sake. I focused my eyes upon my friend, a dark glare hopefully saying all I needed to. "Caleb, you may be a friend, but please, for the love of God, fuck off." I am fine. Tired, yes. Stressed, yes. We have been dealing with rogue attacks regularly until lately. We need to work on improving the pack, which is what we are working on doing. It doesn't come easily. It takes time. It takes energy and effort. So yeah, I am stressed and tired. Is that not my fucking job? I snap, knowing I'm already overstepping the mark talking to my alpha in that way. He knew I had lost my mate because of these rogue attacks too, so you would think he would have shown at least a little understanding. But I wanted to continue going needed to keep functioning, or else I had nothing. Caleb looks to me with a shake of his head. Fine. Go get showered. You look like a fucking state. We have a meeting in half an hour. A shower later and a couple of coffees down, and I felt slightly more human. Or as human as a werewolf can feel on next to no sleep. Right, Ash, we need to sort this shit out. Caleb's voice was sounding more than a little stressed out, telling me I was in for more than a fun day. What shit now? I asked with a deflated sigh. I am sure we had dealt with everything that needed doing yesterday. Quit sounding like you are overworked. Caleb gave me a dirty look. My dad's birthday party for a start. Plus, Aiden is on my case about the teacher for school. We still need to replace Eloise. I do recall him mentioning needing to re-advertise for a new teacher, but I had thought Aiden may have dealt with that. Being Luna and a mother, I thought she may have wanted to be involved with those sorts of tasks. Evidently, I was wrong. As for his dad's party, I think he was more than capable of sorting out that himself, or his mum was. Seriously, is it my job to do everything around here? And you are doing what exactly? I question, feeling more than a little pissed off. Alpha duties, Caleb says with a smug smile. Alpha duties knowing him would be sitting at his fucking desk with his feet up enjoying a coffee. Lazy fucker. Delegating all his work to me, I am sure that is all he does. Well, I am sure your dad would rather you took a part in arranging his party, or even his wife. It will keep you busy, Caleb said to me with a smile, and I knew then the reason why he was giving me the responsibility of the job. He was trying to find ways to occupy my mind, something he had been doing since Isla had passed away, something I did not need doing for me, yet something he and his mate seemed to find the incessant need to do. I truly wished they would stop. The loss of a mate is a pain like no other, but I did not need treating like I was broken, incapable of functioning any longer. I do not need keeping busy, Caleb. I snapped, standing to walk from the office, needing to get away from my friend before I said something I regretted. Ash, come on, please, I am trying to help. My best friend calls out to me. Cal, come on. If this is about Isla, she has been gone nearly 7 years this year. I do not need keeping busy. I am doing that myself. I am Beta, that keeps me busy in itself. If I needed help, I would fucking ask for it, okay? I saw the concern on his face, and it did nothing but irritate me. The same concerned expression I see on the face of my other friends, or my parents. The elder women in the pack, all feeling concerned for my well-being because I lost my mate. Worried I was falling apart. Worried about my heart. My soul. I got tired of sympathy. I didn't need it. It did not bring back my mate. It didn't make me feel any better. If anything, it made me feel worse, Ash. You aren't okay, though. We can see that. You are withdrawn. You are angry. Moody. Isolated. Borderline depressed, Caleb looks to me with worry. That is your expert medical opinion, is it? Wasn't aware you'd been studying to be a doctor as well as being the pack alpha. I must have missed that, I said sarcastically, with a shake of my head at my friend, truly not wanting to deal with all of this right now. Look, if you actually want me to help with sorting your dad's birthday, you know I will. He is my uncle, after all. As for the teacher, I can put another job advertisement out, but we had no response last time. So I think we are going to be struggling with that unless you want to look out of area. We may have to consider that if there are no available teachers within the local packs. Caleb agrees, and I know that would be something we need to consider as the necessity for a teacher was becoming urgent. I will sort the advertisement out again, but I will consider one for further afield too, I told him. hating the idea of strangers within our pack, but we want a good teacher for our school. That has always been the case, and unfortunately this time there is none within our own pack that have decided to train. Okay, and I am sorry, Asher. I just worry about you. Caleb comes and puts his hand on my shoulder, so I give him a friendly nod. I guess he means well, even if he irritates the hell out of me. I can't help the darkness that has clouded my life since I lost my mate, and I cannot make it go away. I have tried, numerous times. It appeared it was here to stay. The only thing keeping me going was my job, my pack. They relied on me, and that gave me a purpose, a reason to get up each day. But the dark thoughts plaguing my mind and the mind of my wolf, Zion, were almost like a curse upon my being. They held me down, almost suffocated me, especially when I was alone. Yet, I preferred to be alone. The pain I felt was almost addictive. There was no other way to describe it. I think I almost enjoyed the pain I felt. I enjoyed the darkness that lingered over me now. It was who I had become. The Asher I had been was gone. He was gone the moment Isla's life was torn from her. The moment she was torn from me. The young, carefree, happy joker, always laughing and joking with pack members, was long gone. Replaced with a withdrawn, isolated, lonely guy who felt down most of the time. Avoiding interaction with pack members whenever he could, and now had a reputation for being moody and snappy gone, was the happy, handsome Beta, leaving more a moody, fucking monster that nobody wanted to be around. I sat at the coffee table, painting my nails, when my brother Jordan came storming into the room. "What the fuck have you been doing?" He snarled at me. I glanced at him with a sideways glance. "Hi to you too, big brother." I smiled sarcastically, this being the first time seeing him since I'd returned. "Do not big brother me, Bailey," he snaps, throwing himself down on the sofa next to me. "What the fuck did you do to Miles?" Was he having a laugh? What did I do to Miles? He says it like I attacked him. Or pounced on him. He is the upcoming alpha, for fuck's sake. It is not like he is unable to defend himself. Though I should have known he would go running to my brother to tell tales. Stir shit like he always did. Make me look like the bad one. I didn't do anything to Miles. Why? I ask, my heart racing a little already, wondering why my brother was angry over this. Had Miles confided in him? Did he know more now than he previously had? The thought of him knowing I had been short-tempered with his friend didn't bother me in the slightest. The fact there was no love lost between Miles and I was well known. But what worried me was now Ellis knew of our secret. Would Miles have told others too? Because that was the last thing I wanted. Especially for my brother to know, and especially for him believing that I had rejected his best friend and our upcoming alpha. So why was he cursing you out when we were at training? Him and Ellis. They would not be doing that for no reason. A little odd when you had just arrived home, don't you think? I shook my head. Oh, that was because I was a little sarcastic this morning when I saw them in the garden. Both acting like they were God's gifts. Bailey, they are the equivalent of God's gift to you and the rest of the pack. They are the Alpha's sons. Of Alpha blood. The future Alpha. So why the fuck are you disrespecting them? Jordan's voice is booming with anger. Hey, what is all the shouting about in here? My mum called through from the kitchen, but she didn't actually come into the lounge to see what Jordan was shouting for. She would no doubt take his side. She always did. She thought the sun shone out of his rear end. Bailey doing Bailey things. Being the social pariah she has always been. The failure to the family as always, Jordan says with a roll of his eyes. A makeover doesn't change what you are, you know. I glared at him. And what am I? Oh, big shot Beta over here. He widens his eyes at the fact I have stood up to him, when in the past I never had. Being away has made me change. It had given me confidence, and the last few times I had come home, I had avoided my brother as he was staying with his girlfriend, or was away at his beta training. "Who the hell are you talking to?" His hand is suddenly gripping mine, tightly. His claws slipped out, digging into my skin, blood now trickling down my arm. My wolf Akira was rippling beneath my skin. I could feel her presence coming closer to the surface, trying to help me heal the damage done to the skin that my brother's claws were causing. But I can also sense her anger at how he is treating me. As werewolves, we are taught to respect our family, yet my brother is not showing respect to me. Not that he ever has. "You?" I hiss, unable to get away while he had hold of me like that, and knowing that even if we're to shift, my wolf would not be able to beat my brother's. "Well, I suggest you remember your place, Bailey. You may be beta blood, but you are still a nobody in the pack. Nobody cares for you. Nobody would notice if you were gone, so bear that in mind before you go shooting your mouth off at people, Bailey," Jordan says coldly, watching me with his dark eyes. And I see no love or care there for me. I hate that the man in front of me is my brother. I felt a cold chill at his words. They sound an awful lot like a threat to me, but I am not about to show my brother his words have affected me. I know nobody in the pack particularly cares for me, all because I never fitted in. I was never one of the popular ones. Not like my brother and sister. All because I enjoyed studying. I became an outsider. But did that mean they would harm me? I shrugged, not willing to show him any emotions. "You say that like I want to be here, Jordan. It isn't like I wanted to come back. I asked not to, but I was told to. Alpha said I had to come home," I told my brother sharply, and I saw his face contort in confusion. "What? He did what? Like fuck the Alpha ordered you home. Miles said you begged to come home when they suggested you looked for work away, after your degree was done," Jordan says in disgust, looking at me equally disgusted, telling me that this pack were not being honest. I do not know why Miles told my brother that, but I know for certain I had been instructed by Alpha Marshall, Miles's dad, and my uncle, to return home immediately once my degree was achieved. I had begged, yes, but it was the opposite of what Jordan suggested. I begged for a chance to look for work, away from the pack, not wishing to return to the mundane life I had here, nor to the mate who had rejected me. But I had been told it was not to happen. I sighed to myself. I do not know why things were being twisted, but it only confirmed to me that being in my pack was far from the right thing for me. I needed to find something else, and I needed to find it soon. I moved through the pack house at a pace faster than I would like to at this time of the morning. But I would do anything right now to get away from my fucking father. He has not stopped whittering in my ear since the moment I stepped from my bedroom this morning. And he didn't even give me the chance to pour myself a coffee before he told me we should come to the pack house to continue with the training he needed to give me. Yes, I want to get this transfer of power done with. The alteration of him being alpha to me, taking my rightful position as alpha of the pack, but shit, did he have to go on so fucking much? I had done the necessary training away at alpha training, so why my own dad now needed to do his own training, I did not know. But he was adamant he would not hand this pack over to me until he felt I was ready. Personally, I think he just did not want to give up his power nor his control. "Miles, we think you need to do a tour of the packs locally at least. Find your fated mate, or do more to do so." My dad's voice echoed around my brain as we walked into the Alpha office. I gave him a dark glare. What? This had never been mentioned before. Finding your fated mate was evidently something that happened when the right time came. A moment left up to fate itself. Something that was out of our control, so why would they be pressuring me to rush this? I obviously know who my mate is. No. Rephrase that I know who my fated mate was. She isn't mine anymore, and I could not be more fucking glad of that. Yes, there is such a thing as a second chance mate, but that doesn't happen for everyone, and it can take years. So, I know looking around for my mate would be nothing but a waste of time and effort. I am ready to be alpha. I do not need some woman by my side to establish my place as leader of our pack. Once again, fucking Bailey West messing up my whole life. The world would have been a better place if her dad had pulled out that night and let the shit that created that waste of space trickle down his wife's leg. I looked at my dad, and the determined expression on his face bothered me. Surely my parents are not going to pause on the alpha ceremony until I have my mate by my side? That would be sheer lunacy, wouldn't it? Who does that? Alphas rule on their own. Me and your mom were thinking it would be wonderful for you to begin your reign as alpha with your Luna by your side, son. Dad says with a smile, like I did. I rolled my eyes in irritation. It was all right for him. His Luna was the pack's main cheerleader. The beauty queen. One any man would want to show off by all accounts. Not that I think of my mom in that way, but I have seen pictures of her back in her younger years, and there is no denying she was beautiful. My dad, alpha or not, had been punching well above his weight. So, of course, he would be one to promote how wonderful fated love is. He got dealt a truly wonderful hand by fate. Me, however, I got dealt the pack geek. Why the fuck would I want her? Yeah. We had been close growing up, and she was my best friend's little sister. But she was the biggest geek I knew, who spent more time with her head in a book than she did going out. It just was not normal. That is not what a guy wants for a woman. How can you show someone off who has her head in a fucking book? These last few years, while she has been away studying, have been wonderful. I haven't needed to see her face. Remind myself what I had done because, like it or not, my wolf hated me for the fact I rejected our fated mate. She was the one the moon goddess selected for us. In my fucking wolf's eyes, she was perfection. Did I feel guilty for hurting her? Maybe a little when I thought back on the memories we shared. But that was usually after a few too many drinks otherwise. The thought of Bailey just irritated me beyond belief. She did nothing to make herself look appealing. And she wasn't like the other she-wolves in the pack that worshipped the ground I walked on. She barely bothered with me and spoke to me like I was stupid at times. I was going to be her next alpha. She should have been treating me with respect. She should have seen me as important. The fact she was so pathetic and barely noticeable made it even more devastating when I learned who she was to me. Why, of all the she-wolves in the pack, would fate mate me to her? She was a nobody. I deserved better. I contemplated numerous times getting her to stay away after her studies had been completed. She was smart. Though when you spend all your time with your head in a book and with very few friends to dawdle away your time with, I should expect nothing less, and she passed her degree easily. Now a qualified teacher. She even begged to have permission from my dad to apply for work away from our pack, but I told him we should make use of her here. And strangely, he agreed. I hadn't missed Bailey, so why I quickly put a pause on her dreams of leaving the pack. I do not know, something stopped me letting her leave. A small part of me got a kick out of knowing I was ruining her hopes of escaping me and our pack. Destroying her dreams. A girl like her didn't deserve dreams. Didn't deserve a happy life. She had fucked my life up by being my fated mate, so I planned to make her life miserable. Bullying her growing up had always been fun. Seeing her cry, though doing her hardest to hide her tears, gave me a high I cannot explain. We may be adults now, but I still enjoyed seeing her cry. She deserved to suffer. And if she was now to be the cause of more issues for me, then I would most definitely be making her suffer. There was just a knowing feeling inside of me telling me to. I did not want her to think she had earned herself freedom from us. Our pack. From me. No. She may no longer be my fated mate, but she would always be under my control. Miles, do not roll your eyes at me. Aluna is a vital part of the pack. My father interrupts my wandering mind. Why the hell was I allowing the thoughts of Bailey to take over? Dad, I do not think there is any rush to find her. We visited Pax not too long ago, and I found no mate. We know that. She will come when fate decides. Perhaps I am one of the alphas that is meant to have his pack prepared and built for his mate. I suggest, lying through my teeth because I know full well that my mate is not coming. There is no fated mate out there waiting for me. No, for she found me on the day my wolf came for me, and I was truly disgusted with the choices made for me by our moon goddess. So much so that I turned my back upon her, and I never intended to allow her back in either. I strolled the sunshine-filled footpaths of Pack, having got bored with sitting around at home. It was truly not the place I wanted to be staying for long. My job searches were not proving successful whatsoever. The school here had a fully equipped teaching staff, though I'm sure Miles would ensure there was no hope of a role there for me anyway. He seemed determined to make my life as difficult as he could for me. I have no clue why, but it was like he was determined to punish me for being his fated mate. Going along similar lines, none of the packs nearby would even speak to me regarding work. The schools within the nearby human communities I had applied to had yet to get back to me, and as time went on, the less hopeful I became that my applications for the teaching roles there were successful, and much could be said for the ones slightly further afield too. It seemed nothing was going to work. I was giving up hope. I really began to wonder if Miles was influencing these in some way. Hi, Bailey. I heard a deep voice approaching behind me, and turned to see the warrior, Harley, who had been on guard as I arrived home earlier in the week. Oh, hey, Harley. How are you? I smiled at him, actually surprised he would even speak to me. Very few others our age bothered to, all choosing to ignore me. Not bad, just on the way to the gym for training, he told me, lifting the bag he was carrying as if he was showing me his kit. I nodded. Bit warm though. He grins. I am a warrior. We don't have a choice. Have to train every day, he says with a shrug, and I nod in agreement. Though I do have time free for ice creams later if you fancy something to cool yourself down, he adds with a cheeky smile and a twinkle in his deep green eyes. I chuckle at his brazenness. Oh, is that right? He looks at me a little sheepishly now, and I can see a hint of color on his cheeks. His dark hair flopping forward over his face as he looked at the ground, obviously a little embarrassed. Sorry, was that a little forward? I smiled at him. He looked quite sweet, all embarrassed, I have to say. Far from the cocky image the warriors generally have. Took me by surprise, I will say that much. Yeah. He looks to me with a tilt of his head, but the smile across his face, his was so genuine, it gave me butterflies. In a bad way? I have to say it feels quite nice to have someone here pay me attention. It happened every now and again, whilst I was away studying. But back here at Pack, I had always felt invisible. No, not in a bad way at all. Though it is not often guys in the Pack bother talking to me, Harley, I admitted with a shrug. So you may want to consider that offer carefully, unless you are only doing it to make me feel stupid. Harley grabbed his chest like I shot at him. I don't know if to be insulted by that or not, Bailey. But considering how nasty some of the people in the Pack can be, I can't say it surprises me. But I am going to say this. I am not like that. And how about we say screw them? We will go for that ice cream, yeah? Meet me after training. What do you say? He looks at me like he is waiting nervously for my response, like he is unsure of himself. As we reach the door of the Pack gym, Harley pauses, still waiting for his answer, so I smile at him. I guess I had best not keep you waiting, had I? That sounds good. Thank you, Harley. I thought you were not going to give me an answer then. Trying to torture me there? Seems I may have to keep my eye on you. He playfully winks at me. I shall see you in a few hours then, Bailey. He lowers his head to softly kiss me upon my cheek, taking me by surprise, before he winks again and walks inside the gym. I moved across the parking area to the doors of the pack house, my head a whirlwind of confusion at what the hell had just happened. Harley had known me for years, had been in my classes at school. Where had his interest come from all of a sudden? I know I have changed a little since school, thanks to my roommate at college being a dab hand with a makeup brush and giving me a few lessons in makeup, and also on how to tame my mane of curls. So, I now look a slightly better styled version of me, if nothing else. Plus, my eyesight had improved once my wolf had arrived, so I could rid myself of my glasses. But I still do not see there was that much of a difference that I would catch the eye of a warrior. A small part of me can't help but wonder if he was doing this for a dare. Bailey, there you are. I heard my dad's voice, the moment I stepped inside the pack house, instantly distracting my train of thoughts. Oh, hi Dad. Are you okay? I looked up to smile at him, only to find the expression upon his face was not a happy-looking one. No, in fact, he looked far from impressed. Did I even want to know what was bothering him? Heard you have been causing chaos with our upcoming alpha, he says with a shake of his head, and before I even had a chance to defend myself, he began lecturing me again. Bailey, you have barely been back 5 minutes, and you are causing problems. It is something we can do without. I know you and Miles do not get on, but he will be your alpha one day, so show him some respect. It isn't difficult just to fall in line, is it? I think you need to go and find him and apologize. I looked at my dad in shock. Well, that explained the miserable face, I suppose. But did he actually expect me to apologize to that fool? Wonderful. My dad literally dragged me to the Alpha office, where my uncle was sitting at his desk. But sadly for me, Miles was sitting on the sofa at the opposite end of the room, his feet propped up on the coffee table, looking more than relaxed. Doing what he did best, absolutely nothing. Hi, Bailey, sweetheart. How are you finding being back on pack? Uncle Marshall asked me with a big smile, like he was pleased to see me. Needless to say, the feeling was not mutual with his son, whose dark glare was focused solely upon me from the moment I had walked into the room. If looks could kill, I would have dropped dead the second I came into the room. A painful death, no doubt too. Hi, Uncle. It is a little odd, I can't lie. I think I got used to being away, I admitted, and saw him frown. Well, we are glad to have you back, sweetheart. I heard what sounded like something crossed between a snigger and a cough from Miles, making me turn to look toward him. And he shook his head at me. He thinks he bothers me? That I care he doesn't want me back here? I didn't want to be back here. Strangely, it was them that told me to come home. I couldn't care less about his view on it. Bailey wanted to come and see Miles, actually. My dad began, and I felt myself wanting to curl up and die of embarrassment. She needed to apologize, I believe. Oh, my uncle questions, though what catches my eye is the smug expression upon Miles's face. Is that so? He looks at me with his brows raised. You realized you need to show me some respect, little girl? I could see the confused expressions on the faces of both my uncle and my dad. Unsurprising, really, when this stupid fucker is addressing me in such a way. I don't care if they thought Miles deserved my respect or not, but I had no intention of apologizing to him when he was calling me little girl. I was a year younger than him, and even if I wasn't, there was no need to be patronizing and call me that. Lost your tongue, Bailey? Miles stood up, striding across the room, and was soon standing in front of me, looking all cocky. I could feel my wolf, Akira, rippling beneath my skin at how he was behaving. She did not like how he was treating me. She had never forgiven him for rejecting her. Or is it just hard to admit you are in the wrong? He smiles smugly at me. I shook my head. No. I don't find it hard to admit when I am wrong. Actually, Miles, I began. I think it should be Alpha Miles to you, he says with a jeer. His dad began, but was silenced by Miles with a wave of his hand. I would like to think my uncle may have been about to defend me, or tell Miles to control himself. As I was saying, Miles, Alpha Miles, or whatever else you would like to be referred to. I am sure I can think of a few choice words. I don't find it hard to admit I am wrong. But on this occasion, I don't think I am wrong. And I don't think you deserve an apology, actually. Respect has to be earned, and you, I am afraid, are an awful long way from earning even an ounce of respect from me, Miles. Upcoming alpha or not, I said calmly, and I can see my dad standing with his eyes wide at what I have just said. My uncle is frowning, but Miles looks ready to burst with fury. His face contorts with anger. You have a fucking nerve. You bitch. You know I have every right to throw you from this pack. He roars, flying toward me, only for his dad to grab the back of his shirt. Wah, Uncle Marshall says, looking confused. Miles, stop. You do not have that power. You are not alpha yet, and this is exactly why I have said you are not ready to become alpha. I have no clue what the hell is going on with you two, but that reaction was unnecessary. Bailey, as much as you may dislike it, you have to show him respect. He will always be your senior. I see Miles smiling smugly at me. See, it doesn't need to be earned. You will always be below me. I should have you on your fucking knees. Uncle Marshall slapped the back of Miles's head. That does not give you free rein to act like a total bellend. You are an alpha. Act like one. The things Bailey said are not wrong. Respect is earned to some degree. Not to mention, you are expected to treat your pack with respect too, Miles. Or else I may have to reconsider your position. You best be kidding me? Miles roared. All because of this stupid bitch? Have you seen what you have caused now? His dark eyes were suddenly on me, and the hate in them was clear. He looked ready to kill me. Bailey, I think it is best we leave now. My dad grabbed my arm and pulled me from the office as quickly and forcefully as he could, the door slamming loudly behind us as we left. I could hear my uncle and Miles yelling as we retreated down the corridor. See the fucking mess you leave? Would it hurt you just to have done as you were asked, Bailey? My dad looks at me with a disgusted look. Anyone would think the quiet one would be the easiest child, yet you seem to do nothing but bring fucking problems. I clenched my fists in anger. He was angry at me over all of that? Had he failed to notice the way Miles had spoken to me? Or did they all think that was acceptable? I have had enough of all of this now. All I do is bring problems, yet for some reason they won't let me move away. Strange that, isn't it? Oh, so now you are choosing to ignore your own father? My dad yelled, causing the two young she-wolves further down the corridor to turn around in curiosity, to look at what was happening, and now they were rushing away, muttering between themselves. No doubt I would be the new source of gossip. How truly wonderful. What do you want me to say, Dad? I looked at him. Anything I do is wrong. You always told us to stand up for ourselves. Yet when I do, I am in the wrong. The way Miles spoke to me was not right, and you know it wasn't. Well, that is how he thinks it is okay to talk to me all the time. And I don't like it. That is why he gets angry at me, because I stand up to him. So, if that means I am in the wrong, then so be it. If it means I am the cause of so many problems for you, I apologize. I apologize for being such a disappointment of a daughter. I thought you would be glad you had a daughter who didn't take no shit. Obviously, I was wrong. My dad sighed beside me. No, How he spoke to you isn't right. But he is the upcoming alpha, Bailey. You have to show him respect. End of. You are not a disappointment. I am incredibly proud of you. I just wish you didn't cause me so much drama sometimes, because you know your uncle is going to want to chat with me over all that. Blame me. Every fucker else does, I said with a shrug. My dad shook his head. Even your uncle couldn't avoid the obvious that Miles was out of order. But you do need to apologize, even if it is to your uncle. And I think it would be best to perhaps stay out of Miles's way. You not think I am trying? Why do you think I didn't want to come home, Dad? Why do you think I desperately want to find a job away from the pack? But, no. They want me here, apparently, though goddess knows why. Apply out of district. I will help you by reaching out to other packs, Dad says, with what could only be described as a pained smile. They don't want me to work away, Dad. They made me come home. You know that. I will deal with that when the time comes, Dad tells me with a frown, and I smile in thanks, because right now, that is the biggest hope I can cling to. Because this would be the closest thing I have to a way out of this hell.